In the comics, I was never really a big fan of Glenn. He was the golden boy, the handsome dude with a good smile and a bright future, and he was the most underdeveloped character in the series to date. But the show has gone into a completely different direction with the character. TV show Glenn has gone through much more trauma and pain. He was tortured, beaten, captured by cannibals, and left in the woods for dead. This Glenn has matured much more, but despite the horrors of the world, he's retained his humanity. But as we saw in Season 6, it cost him. Whether his life or his compassion, it cost him something he can never get back. The Glenn in the comics was just a horny delivery boy. Many fans believe that season 8, episode 100, Glenn will meet his end in an iconic way. But after a comment made by executive producer David Alpert, I'm not so sure. Executive producer David Alpert refused to confirm Glenn's death in Variety's post-mortem interview last week. Instead, he said, "We will find out what happened to Glenn. I feel like regardless of what happened to Glenn, he paid a tremendous price for having been human to Nicholas. And that, to me, from an emotional point of view, whether or not Glenn is alive or dead, is something else. The Glenn that we knew, the one that believed in the better side of humanity, I think is dead." The quote proves that Glenn is alive. I do not believe an executive would bring up potential character development this strong and just not deliver on it. Let's face facts. Nicholas died a coward. He couldn't handle the situation and almost got the man who saved him his life killed. The man who gave him a second chance even after he murdered his friend and tried to kill him. I believe the Glenn we see again will have killed the optimistic boy inside and bring in a new character arc. A Glenn that is willing to take a life. A Glenn that knows little, if any, mercy. This is something we've never seen before. Not in the comics, not in the games, not in the show. The moment when Glenn crosses the line between good guy and survivor is fast approaching, and I think it's time to accept that Glenn, as we know him, is pretty much dead already. Oh, and if in case you were paying attention to last week's episode, the Morgan flashback, Steven Yeun's name wasn't in the credits. I just really think this is just a big ploy to scare all the fans. I think it's really stupid to do that. It's obvious Glenn isn't dead, but like 90% of us believe Glenn is dead. Alright, so basically, I don't think Glenn's going to meet his end at the hands of Negan. I think it's going to be someone else, someone way more innocent than him. It was a big shock in the comics because no one expects Glenn to die, but with the TV show, everyone and their mother is expecting Glenn to go out the same way, which would be cool, but it would be kind of underwhelming because there's spoilers everywhere for Glenn's comic book death, and I'd like to see the character make it to all-out war and see how he would react in that situation. I don't want Glenn to take Maggie's Hilltop storyline. I think that's very crucial to her character, but I want him to survive to a new beginning, because this is the point of the show. The show is an alternate universe to the comics. Characters act way differently than they did in the comics. Some characters that are dead in the comics are are alive in the show, and vice versa. And I think it would be a great opportunity for Robert Kirkman to make you think he's going to kill off Glenn, and then flip you off and have Negan kill off someone equally as important, or even a better character than Glenn. So here's my top 3 characters that have the potential to eat it from Negan. Okay, so Morgan. Aikido means not to kill. Morgan came back from a dark place. He's vowed never to kill again, not even the most evil person. He believes that all life is precious, no longer seeing saving lives as pointless acts as he did when he was clearing. And he keeps the bullet of that couple as a reminder. I believe that if Morgan goes on that fateful run, he'll sacrifice his life for the people he's come to love and care for, and give Glenn a chance at life. Morgan gets a 80% chance of getting Lucille's barbed fury. Now, the second person I think that has a good potential to bite it is Tara. Now, although she's not an important character right now, I still believe Tara has room to grow. She still feels responsible for the prison massacre, and I do not buy that the writers would just let her live this long just to be a red shirt. She has gained the affection of Rick, Glenn, Maggie, Abraham, Rosita, and Eugene, and is a very sisterly figure to boot. It would be heartbreaking to watch Negan beat a helpless girl to death, but we know from his comic counterpart that he isn't against killing women if he has to. Tara gets a 30% chance of dying at the hands of Negan. My third and final pick is Daryl. He's one of the original Atlanta survivors and AMC's cash cow. Daryl's undoubtedly the most popular character in The Walking Dead, whether you like it or not. So popular that 90% of the fans who watch the show have declared themselves to riot. Fans are categorized between true fans and Daryl fans. In Season 6, he seems to be in some trouble, but I don't think he's going to die just yet. But in Season 7 or 8, it's going to get iffy. Daryl will either meet the hands of Negan or sacrifice himself in all-out war. I give Daryl a 95% chance of dying at the hands of Lucille or in Season 7 or 8 in general.